Chapter 8. A Visit to the Bastille.
I ran in through the wooden door of the little church of St. John out of the summer rain. It was dark inside. I sat for a moment to enjoy the peace and silence of the place. The smell itself made me feel calm until I remembered why I was there. I got up and walked towards a priest who was lighting candles at the front of the church. When he saw my uniform, he looked alarmed. "Don't be afraid," I said. "I am a friend."
Is it possible that one of the king's men is a friend?
He said with quiet anger.
The people of Paris are dying in the streets because of the king.
"I know," I said. "That is why I am here. I have come to see Aramis." The priest went white with fear.
Aramis? I know of nobody by that name.
"I am a friend, Father. My name is D'Artagnan."
D'Artagnan? I don't know you.
You must be the only man in France who doesn't. I am he, I assure you.
How can I be sure?
Here, take my ring. It has the cross of St. George on it. Aramis will know it is mine. I gave him the ring and he disappeared into the shadows at the back of the church. Some minutes later he reappeared and signalled to me with his hand.
This way, Captain.
I followed him into a little room next to the church. There was a small table in the centre, and priests' robes hung on the back of the door. There was nothing else except for a large cross on the wall. The priest pushed back the table to reveal a small trap-door underneath. He pulled it up and started to make his way down some narrow steps. I followed. At the bottom, I saw the dim glow of candlelight. At one point I slipped and put my hand out, but it touched something round. I wondered what it was and picked it up. Bringing it into the light, I saw the two empty eye holes of a skull staring back at me. Aramis and Athos were sitting at a table. Porthos was lying on a heap of straw. Aramis got up when he saw me.
"Welcome, D'Artagnan. We're glad to see you. We thought you had forgotten your old friends."
I greeted them warmly and took a seat at the table. "Fouquet has his spies after me all the time. I had to share a cart with 3 goats to get here without being seen." They laughed.
"That explains the smell,"
said Porthos from his bed of straw. "So, what are your plans, gentlemen?"
"Plans?"
said Athos hopelessly.
"Can't you see? We are buried alive. We are no better than all these skeletons."
He pointed to the shelves of human bones and skulls.
"You are our last hope, D'Artagnan. Tell us what has happened to Philippe. Is he still alive?"
"He might as well be dead. The mask is back on, and he's in the Bastille."
"The Bastille?"
said Porthos.
"Well, that is that then. Our only hope now is to escape to England and spend the rest of our lives eating cabbage and boiled potatoes. Ugh. I think I would prefer to die here."
"All is not lost," I said, not altogether believing what I was saying. Athos and Aramis moved closer, and Porthos turned his head towards me.
"Well, tell us, D'Artagnan. What is your plan?"
"My plan is to get Philippe out of the Bastille." When they heard this, they looked at me as if I had gone mad.
"You're crazy, D'Artagnan,"
said Aramis.
"It would be easier for Porthos to get into heaven."
"No, listen to me. You will be dressed as musketeers, and I will be your prisoner. You will put me in the same cell as Philippe, and your order will say that you must take me there yourselves. As soon as the cell door is open, we tie up the guards, take Philippe, and escape." Athos laughed.
"And how do we get past the 20 guards?"
20 men against 4 of the greatest musketeers that have ever lived? You have become soft, Athos. At the mention of fighting, Porthos jumped up from his bed and ran over to us.
"D'Artagnan, I love your plan. It's excellent."
"It's madness,"
said Aramis.
"But we have no choice. I would sooner die fighting than rot here or in the English rain."
Athos thought for a moment.
"So be it then, gentlemen."
"Good. And now I have a surprise for you," I said, turning out the sack I'd been carrying with me. Immediately, they recognized their old uniforms.
You kept them, D'Artagnan?
Of course, Aramis. I thought we might need them one day.
And you were right.
They started putting on their uniforms, which they had not worn for many years. Athos had got thinner, and his uniform hung badly. Porthos had got fatter, and he had to hold in his stomach to do up the buttons. Only Aramis had not changed. "You look wonderful, gentlemen. How do you feel?"
Stronger,
said Athos.
Alive.
Said Aramis.
Fatter,
Said Porthos.
but I can't wait to take on a few prison guards.
When the guards at the Bastille saw the uniforms of the king's musketeers, they opened the iron door at once and let us in. But that was as far as we got without showing papers. By careful planning, I had managed to get the seals I needed. The head jailer, a man with greasy hair and a face like a bulldog, did all the talking.
What have you got there, gentlemen?
a traitor.
Athos said.
He tried to kill the king.
Porthos threw me to the floor so that I would not show my face.
A traitor, eh? Is he here for life or death?
The jailer said, making a movement that looked like a knife cutting someone's neck.
Life, master, life. He is to go into the cell with that other traitor, the one in the iron mask.
The guard kicked me and laughed.
We love traitors here, officer. We'll make him nice and comfortable.
Our orders are to take him to the cell ourselves and see him locked in there.
Said Aramis. The guard said nothing for a moment.
Are you saying I don't know my job, officer?
Those were our orders, master. Straight from the king himself.
All right. Follow me and bring that dog of a traitor with you.
We went down endless passages, past cell after cell, and groups of guards, all of whom looked as if they would bite if you went too close. The smell of filth and unwashed bodies was sickening. When we were a long way underground, we came at last to Philippe's cell. The head jailer put his key into the lock and opened the door. Porthos pushed me inside. For a moment, I thought they were going to leave me there. But it was all part of the act. As soon as they saw Philippe, Porthos took the head jailer by the neck and put one hand over his mouth. Quickly, they tied him up, putting a cloth into his mouth to keep him quiet.
Philippe, are you all right?
Aramis said. Philippe nodded. Then Porthos handed me one of the swords he was carrying, and Athos gave one to Philippe. "Gentlemen," I said, "this may not be easy, but as the passages are narrow, it will be hard for them to fight us all at once. Philippe, stay in the middle. I will be behind you and Porthos at the back. Athos and Aramis will go in front." It was hard finding our way back through the prison. It was like a labyrinth. We passed a group of guards who looked at us in surprise.
"Where is Monsieur Gravier?"
One of them said.
Locking up.
Athos said. We had gone about 10 yards when the guard said,
Hey, wait! The governor would not let anyone walk about the prison without an escort. Wait!
I decided not to. "Run!" I said, and we began running up to the next floor. At the top of the stairs, we met a second group of guards. Porthos and I were already fighting with the first group when Athos and Aramis took on the second group. But the guards were poor swordsmen, and we made short work of them and started running again. The next group we met had a musket, and they managed to fire before we reached them, but the bullet missed, and we had put our swords through them before they had time to reload. We finally reached the entrance. This was the most difficult part. It was a large open space, and there were 9 or 10 of them, and only 5 of us. First, I got the man with the musket, but not before he had fired again. As I went for the next one, I saw Porthos fall to the ground. I didn't have time to see how badly injured he was, as a man was about to put his sword through him. I jumped towards Porthos, knocking down 2 guards, just in time to save him from any further injury. Experience of old told us to make a circle around anyone hurt. In this way, we fought back to back. It took us about 10 minutes to deal with the last 8 men. I immediately turned to Porthos. His eyes were closed, and I feared the worst. Blood was pouring from his side. I tried to pick him up, but he was too heavy for one man. Athos helped me, and we got ready to leave. By the time we got to the door, Aramis was waiting with the horses. We managed to get Porthos up onto the strongest one, and I got up behind him. We set off at a gallop through the streets of Paris, but I feared that he would be dead before we got back to the church of St. John.